it is Tanya and welcome back to the channel. Today I am back with a speed build that I am very excited to share with you guys. This was just an idea that popped into my head yesterday randomly. I was like, what if I built a tiny house in the sky? So I proceeded to then, when I got home, go through all of the items in debug and try and find anything that slightly resembled a cloud. At first I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a bunch of eggs in the sky. That was my first thought after going through some of debug. But then I found some of the snow piles in debug from seasons, and they actually extend below the surface, so they're like cloud shaped on top and on bottom. So we have a lot of snow in the sky. It's really a snowy castle floating, but it's a castle in the clouds because it looks like clouds, and that's what I was going for. And I really like how it came out. As you can see, I had it really high up, but I did lower it down just to do the build because it's a lot easier to build and edit things at lower elevations in the game. But towards the end, we do raise it back up into the sky. And this also, I'm calling this a tiny castle, but it doesn't fit into any of the tiny categories that we got with Tiny Living at all. I think it's like 200 tiles, but I wasn't trying to make it like within those tile counts, really. I just decided to check when I finished it to see how much space it took up. But most of this isn't livable space anyway because I needed spots to put the clouds. That covered a lot of the land and just some decorative areas as well. And I don't know. It's definitely not using a full 200 tiles of livable space. Probably the interior space would be within that tier 300 tile house, I'm assuming, because it's not that big of a home. But I had a lot of fun with it, and it's definitely pretty squishy in there. I would say this is an installment of the squish for sure. It's just not by the standards of the new stuff pack, if that makes sense. I used a ton of Realm of Magic in this build, and I just really thought a magical house in the sky made sense, so I thought maybe a spellcaster lived here. I did add some items that hinted at that. We have some brooms inside, but you don't have to be a spellcaster or use cheats to get on up, because I did use these portals that came with Realm of Magic. So we do end up having one on the ground that if you walk through, you pop up into the sky in this really cool castle area. So I don't know, this was just so much fun. I really like doing creative builds like this. I also used a lot of plants that came with Get to Work from the alien planet Sixum. They worked so well for this magical idea I had in mind. So those are definitely two packs that you would need in order for this build to work. It would be Realm of Magic and Get to Work. I also used windows from Strangerville because they are really pretty and just like exactly what I was thinking of. But I was really enjoying these floating flowers from Get to Work. They just look so pretty. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm just going to keep saying everything's so pretty, but that's just how I felt this whole build. I also used these trees from Jungle Adventure. I was trying to use some trees that aren't like too out there alien. Obviously we have a little bit of that going on, but some that were just not your everyday tree that looked a little bit magical, and I thought those ones looked nice. And then I also raised up some more of these snow piles into the sky to look like little floating clouds around the place, and I think that just added a lot to it and made it look a little bit more realistic and believable as what we were trying to achieve with this. And I skipped through some of the painting because it took me longer than I'd like to admit to figure out what I wanted to paint this like, but we ended up using kind of a dirt texture as well as this stone that came with Discovery University, and I think it came out really nice. I wanted it to look kind of earthy and you know, man-made, made out of stones and stuff like that. And I'm pretty happy with it. I also used these giant rocks on either side that go above and below the clouds that I think are from Debug with Realm of Magic, but they might be from something else because we've gotten a lot of things like that through Show Live Edit Objects. Also, this roof clipping in on the top. Sometimes I fixed it, and then sometimes when I load up the lot, it's fine, and other times it's in there. So I apologize if you load up this lot and that roof is clipping in. Sometimes it works fine, and I don't change anything, and other times it's like, hello, I have my roof inside your house. So you might have to delete that if you download this house, but hopefully not, because most of the time it works on my end. But if you guys would like to download this build, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery. If you search Gryphi or the hashtag MsGryphi, that information is also down below, as well as a direct download link to the gallery website if it's easier for you guys to download it that way. We kind of end up having sort of 2 living spaces in this house. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. I don't think it's too expensive. I want to say it's in the 30 to 40,000 range because I did check it before I was done with it. So I might be wrong on that. But I figure if you're going to live in a house in the sky, you're not too worried about the price. I mean, the view out your windows, oh my gosh, priceless. Like, I can't imagine having the ability to do that. It would be so pretty. I'm just thinking of like looking out the windows on an airplane. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine that. But anyway, this is the kitchen space. It's pretty snug in here, and I actually did have to delete one of those stools at the table, the one that's technically right in front of the fridge, because no matter how much I moved that table, it made it so the fridge was not functional. So I did delete one of those stools, but the other 2 are completely functional. I did play test this entire build, with the exception of I didn't try the cauldron that I put on the back of the house. So that may or may not work, but everything that you need to work in the house works, and the chess table works too. You don't really need that, but we do end up adding a chess table a little bit later, and I made sure to playtest that as well. But this is the first kind of casual living space. All of it's pretty casual, but when you first walk in, I do have this rock clipping into the house, which I thought was kind of cool, and I had no problems with it keeping there because I really liked how it looked on the outside, and it didn't bother me for like this magical castle for there to be rocks coming through the walls. I thought it looked kind of cool. But we have this one bench from Vampires, I think, and then this little chair over to the side as well, which came with Realm of Magic, and it's just a like cozy place to sit down. I have like a book over here we're going to be adding shortly, this one from base game that you could be writing in, and I didn't want it to be like a sit down, here's the television, like normal family home. I had a different idea in mind for this house, so it's a lot of like casual sitting down, reading, working on skills. We're going to be adding an easel over in the corner behind the chair. So it's definitely a different experience than your everyday like family house in The Sims. But I figure if you want a floating house in the clouds, you're probably not playing like generic suburban family household anyway. But who knows? That could be kind of interesting. I mean, I could have built like a giant suburban house in the sky, but I feel like that wouldn't have been as much fun. But I think this was a really cool idea, and I like doing stuff like this every once in a while. And I feel like my brain is just like, oh my gosh, I need to come up with some more really fun, cool ideas, because I think it's a nice break from doing the more realistic builds to do stuff like this. So let me know what you guys think of this, and if there's anything else you'd like to see in the realm of this, I guess. But this is the upstairs kind of living landing area. We end up having the bookcases over in the corner, a place to sit and read. And I think that's all that's really up here functional wise. It's just decorated nice. And you could definitely fit some more stuff up here, and of course add like a TV or something if you decided you wanted that. We also have downstairs the little record player, so you could play some music and just hang out. This is the one single bedroom in here. It's pretty snug in here, but I really like how it came out. We lined it with some greenery, and I did think about having a bassinet in here if like you wanted your sim to have a baby. You could totally fit that in here if you decide you want to do that, or maybe you play like the storyline, you know, they have the baby. You could fit a child in here if you wanted to. You would just have to move some stuff around, renovate the home a little bit, but it's definitely possible to have up to 2 Sims in here if you just change things a little bit. But the bedroom's just about done. We're going to be adding a bedside table, the one from Cats and Dogs that looks like a bunch of books, and then putting some more books next to it. I thought those could be like spell books and stuff like that. And then the final room of this house is the bathroom. I used a mixture of stuff from Realm of Magic and Get Famous in here. And I just really love the neutral tone of this whole home. I feel like it just worked exactly how I wanted it to. And yeah, that's pretty much this room. We're just going to be adding a little rug by the, what is that called? That's a shower. A rug by the shower saves a place to wipe your feet when you get out. And then adding the last couple things and raising this up into the sky before we decorate the ground space where we're going to have the portal that leads you on up to the castle, which is really cool. Also, ignore those like portal boxes around. When you move the portal, it stays like that. It's kind of glitchy, but in normal gameplay those are not there. It's just while I was building and I kept moving where the portal was, those kept reappearing all over the place, but those will not be present if you guys download this build. Also, I'm going to be placing down like some spiky like trunks, like tree trunks in a moment here. Yes, these. Those are not present either because that made it so the portal didn't work. So those aren't there. I replaced that with some other trees, but everything else you're going to see is exactly how it appears in the build. And like I said, this will be on the gallery, but we're going to be heading on into screenshots here momentarily. I hope you guys enjoyed this build because I had a blast with this one. Oh my goodness, like it feels so good to really enjoy a build as much as I enjoyed this one. But if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the screenshots, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.